If you've ever found yourself asking, why does she lose interest when I give her everything? This video is your awakening. You're about to discover the brutal truth behind why chasing her never works, and what truly holds the power in attraction. No fantasies, no fluff, just raw strategy. Let's begin. Attraction is a game of psychological tension, not of reward and reassurance. What ignites desire is not comfort, but uncertainty. Not proximity, but distance. A woman's desire is not sparked by how often you show up, but by how much she has to wonder whether you will. Most men lose this battle before they even realize a war is taking place. They think desire grows with attention, that the more available they are, the more appreciated they'll become. But the truth is brutally counterintuitive. Desire dies when it is served on a silver platter. The more you give, the less she wants. There is a law of value that governs every dynamic. What is scarce is desired. What is abundant is ignored. A man who is too eager, too accessible, too willing to pursue at all costs, cheapens his own worth by his behavior. His presence becomes ordinary. His words lose weight. His attention becomes background noise. He tries harder, gives more, and she feels less. The paradox is this: the more you chase her, the less she feels the need to chase you. What she can easily have, she learns to devalue. What is always present becomes invisible. This is not about games or manipulation. It is about understanding the fundamental mechanism of human psychology. We are drawn not to what is handed to us, to what seems just out of reach. In the early stages of attraction, tension is everything. It's the unanswered text, the silence after a meaningful glance, the pause between interactions that allows desire to breathe and expand. Without space, desire suffocates. Without distance, attraction loses its edge. Think of the hunter who stalks prey. He is silent, patient, distant. He does not run wildly toward what he wants. He understands that movement betrays desperation. The same applies to a man in pursuit of a woman. The one who rushes forward, who pours out his feelings too soon, who floods her with affection before she has earned it, kills the chase. He removes the uncertainty that desire feeds on, and when she no longer has to wonder whether he likes her, she also begins to wonder why she ever did. This is not a reflection of cruelty or emotional coldness. It is a recognition of nature. Human beings are wired to long for what they cannot fully possess. Fulfillment without effort feels like obligation, not reward. A man who withholds, not to tease but to remain sovereign, creates curiosity. Curiosity breeds interest. Interest breeds desire. A woman's attraction is not kindled by what a man says, but by what he holds back. When she has to guess, she becomes invested. When everything is known, nothing is exciting. The tragedy of modern men is that they believe love must be earned through proof, that feelings must be demonstrated constantly. That silence means failure, so they chase. They text first and always. They initiate every conversation. They check in, double text, overshare, promise, not as they are confident, but because they are confident, but because they are afraid. Afraid to lose her. Afraid to be alone. Afraid to let the silence do the talking. Silence speaks volumes. A man who can endure the quiet communicates that he is not afraid of loss. And a man who is not afraid to lose is the most powerful figure in any relationship. This is the brutal truth. When you make her your priority, before she's made you hers, you reverse the natural order. Instead of her wondering how to win you, she is trying to escape being smothered. Instead of growing curious, she becomes bored. Instead of valuing your time, she expects it, because you've shown her that your world revolves around her, and nothing repels a woman faster than realizing she already has total control. Distance doesn't mean disinterest. It means discipline. It is the mark of a man who knows his value and refuses to spill it for free. He shows restraint, not to be mysterious, but because he understands that a king does not chase. He builds, he leads, and he waits. If a woman sees his absence not as punishment, as proof of his strength, she will seek his presence. But if she sees him everywhere, waiting, calling, needing, she will recoil. A man who is too eager to be chosen becomes the one who is overlooked. When she wonders why you're not chasing, she becomes interested. When she feels your silence, she imagines your value. You do not have to announce it. You must only withhold. You do not have to explain it. You must only let her feel the absence of it. The foundation of attraction is not built on how much attention a man gives, but on how much respect he commands. Respect is not asked for. It is evoked by presence, action, and attitude. Women are drawn not to those who chase relentlessly or speak endlessly of their feelings, but to those who carry themselves with silent authority, an unshakable sense of worth, and an unwavering mission. A man who seeks to please forfeits his strength. A man who seeks to be respected invites desire. The modern man has been misled. He has been told that to win a woman, he must entertain her, flatter her, prove himself with gifts, text messages, and displays of devotion. But these things, when given too soon or too freely, are not seen as acts of confidence. They are interpreted as signs of insecurity. The more a man tries to be liked, the less interesting he becomes, because the act of trying itself suggests he believes he is not enough. This self-doubt bleeds through every word, every gesture. Women can sense it, and they lose interest. There is an ancient truth: what does not beg becomes desired. A man who is self-contained, who is not driven by her approval, who does not attempt to impress, sends a powerful signal. He respects himself more than he seeks validation from others. This energy is magnetic. It draws in curiosity, attention, and longing, not because he asks for it, but because he does not. When a woman observes a man who is unaffected by her presence, treats her like a human, not a goddess to be worshipped, she is forced to view him differently. He is not one of the many. He is rare. He stands apart. Women test men not because they enjoy it, but because they need to. A woman will push, pull away, ignore, provoke. She does not do this out of malice. She does it to feel the boundaries of your strength, to know if you fold, to know if your confidence is real or a mask. The man who begs for attention, who panics when he is not the center of her world, fails this test. He becomes the boy who needs her approval, not the man who demands her respect. Respect is not loud. It is not about physical size or wealth. It is the calm stillness of a man who knows who he is and does not shift to meet the expectations of others. He does not change his values, his schedule, or his mission for a woman. He invites her to join his world, but never allows her to dominate it. When a woman feels that she cannot move a man off course with her charm or her beauty, she becomes intrigued. That intrigue breeds attraction. A man who begs for attention often masks his desperation as affection. He showers her with compliments. He texts constantly. He is always available. This form of attention is cheap. It is not rooted in power, but in fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. And fear is the least attractive scent a man can carry. It communicates neediness, and neediness poisons desire. The moment a woman feels she has complete access to you without earning it, she begins to lose interest. Commanding respect means creating emotional distance, not emotional emptiness. It means you do not give more than what has been earned. You do not invest in someone who hasn't invested in you. You are not rude. You are not desperate. You listen, but you don't linger. You give attention, but never to the point where it becomes your identity. You show interest, never at the cost of your dignity. There is a difference between being kind and being weak. A woman can sense when your generosity is genuine versus when it is a tactic to win her favor. When your every move is designed to be pleasing, she knows she holds power over you. And the more power she feels she has over you, the less she will respect you. Without respect, there is no tension. Without tension, there is no desire. The man who commands respect lives as if he is already full. He is not moved by the possibility of gaining a woman or losing her. His world does not revolve around winning her attention, because his attention is not given to just anyone. It is earned. And the more selective a man is with his energy, the more women will try to be chosen. She doesn't want what comes too easily. She wants what forces her to rise to meet it. Respect does not come from pursuing her endlessly. It comes from becoming something she cannot ignore. Not because you followed her, but because you stood still while the others chased. Not because you lowered your standards to win her, but because you held your ground and let her come to you. When you operate from this position, you stop trying to make her like you. You make her prove herself worthy of you. There is a fatal misunderstanding among men who believe that persistence equals strength. They think that by showing how relentless they are, by proving their willingness to go all in, they will earn a woman's heart. But persistence without power is not strength. It is weakness in disguise. A man who chases reveals his hunger. And hunger is not attractive, it is unsettling. It shows he is not full within himself. It shows he believes her attention is the prize, and that he is not the prize himself. In that reversal, he loses all leverage. He becomes the follower, not the leader. He becomes the one who waits, not the one who is waited for. Chasing is a confession. A silent admission that she is above you and that her time, her attention, and her presence are more valuable than yours. When a man chases, he positions himself beneath the woman, not beside her. He gives her the throne and kneels before it, hoping to be noticed. But no woman desires to rule a man she does not respect, and no woman respects a man who offers himself like a servant hoping for crumbs of validation. The moment you pursue her, you declare yourself unworthy of being pursued. What men fail to realize is that women are biologically wired to respond to power, not pressure. Power is presence, power is control. Power is the ability to walk away without fear. A man who chases shows he has no such power. His identity depends on her reaction. He is led by emotion rather than principle. He wants, so he moves. He feels, so he speaks. He worries, so he overcompensates. In doing this, he gives her control. And once she has control, she loses curiosity. Once she sees his weakness, she loses interest. The strongest men are those who do not chase because they do not need to. They have built lives that demand their energy. They have goals greater than companionship. They have standards that cannot be bent. They are selective, not desperate. Their time is not currency for others to spend freely. Their attention is not something that is given in hopes of approval. It is a reward for those who have proven they deserve it. Women sense this. They recognize the difference between a man who wants her and a man who needs her. One is attractive. The other is a liability. A woman does not want to feel that you need her more than she needs you. She wants to feel your absence, not your overexposure. She wants to feel chosen. When you chase, you communicate fear. Fear of losing her, fear of being forgotten, fear of being replaced. And fear, whether spoken or not, leaks into every word, every gesture, every text message you send. It speaks louder than confidence ever could. And it tells her she is the one with power. Once she knows that, the game is over. Even if she accepts your attention at first, even if she plays along, it is only temporary. She is simply exploring her power. She will test how far you are willing to go. How much of yourself you are willing to give up. She will measure your self-worth by how quickly you give it away. She will take until there is nothing left to take. And then she will leave, because what can be captured so easily cannot be valued. What follows without question becomes invisible. A man who reveals his desire too openly, too early, too frequently, robs a woman of the very thing that ignites attraction, the unknown. The chase is not hers to control if you never chase to begin with. When you hold your position, when you remain steady, unmoved by emotional surges or longing, you create a dynamic where she must pursue understanding. She must ask why you are not chasing like the others. She must wonder what you see that others don't. That wondering becomes tension. That tension becomes attraction. To chase is to place the outcome above your own dignity. It is to say, I will bend who I am to receive your affection. But the man of value does not bend. He does not convince. He does not pursue what does not recognize his worth. He lets others approach his throne, not because he is arrogant, but because he knows his strength, and his strength is not proven in how loudly he speaks, but in how silently he waits. Not in how hard he tries, but in how firmly he refuses to try for what does not try for him. When a man chases, he becomes predictable. Predictability is death to desire. A woman must never feel that she already knows your next move. She must never feel total ownership of your attention. A man who gives freely without resistance becomes the background noise of her life. Present, constant, and eventually forgettable. What is chaste is devalued. What is still, composed, and self-contained demands attention. Not through force, but through contrast. When everyone else runs after her, the man who doesn't becomes unforgettable. Because he has something they don't: restraint, purpose, and power. Attraction is not a game of equal desire. It is a battlefield of perceived value, of emotional leverage, of who holds the power to walk away first. In every interaction between man and woman, power subtly shifts toward the one who appears less affected, less attached, less emotionally entangled. This is not because detachment is cold, but because it is rare. It is a sign of internal strength, of someone who governs his own emotions instead of being governed by them. And in the world of seduction, he who governs his emotions governs the outcome. The one who cares less sets the terms. He is not concerned with rejection because he has not built his self-worth on the approval of the other. He does not fear silence, absence, or distance. He welcomes them. Because he knows these moments are not losses but filters. Filters for who belongs in his life and who does not. The man who cares less does not panic when she pulls away. He does not rush to fix what hasn't yet broken. He understands that real value does not chase validation. It endures. The moment a man begins to care more than the woman, he begins to compromise. First it's small, he waits longer for her replies, rearranges his schedule for her convenience. It becomes more emotionally expressive, while she becomes more emotionally silent. Then it grows, he becomes anxious when she doesn't respond, begins questioning his worth, reads into her every word, adjusts his personality to match her moods. Slowly, he is no longer leading the interaction, he is reacting to it. And that shift is fatal. When you care too much too soon, you hand her the reins. You make her the prize, the standard, the goal. And in doing so, you reduce yourself. You allow her to see that her presence affects your center, that she has power over your mind, your mood, your movements. A woman may enjoy that power momentarily, but she will not respect the man who gave it away so easily. Because what is freely given is rarely valued. Power must be earned, not gifted. The man who understands this truth does not suppress his feelings, but he does master them. He does not act from a place of need, but from principle. His interest is not a weakness. It is measured. His time is not a weapon. It is precious. He does not show care out of desperation, but out of discernment. The difference is subtle, but profound. One type of man gives because he's afraid of losing her. The other gives because she has proven she's worthy to receive. And that difference decides everything. When a woman sees that a man is unaffected by her distance, her silence, or her games, she is thrown off balance. She expects emotional pursuit. She expects concern. She expects the man to lean in when she pulls away. But when he doesn't, when he stands still, she is forced to question her assumptions. She begins to doubt her hold on him. That doubt turns to curiosity. That curiosity creates tension. And that tension becomes the seed of desire. This is the paradox. When you don't need her, she feels she needs you. The one who cares less controls the pace. He does not rush connection. He lets it unfold. He is not eager to define things because he knows that time reveals truth. He does not pressure because pressure is a tool of the weak. Instead, he observes, he evaluates, he holds back just enough to maintain mystery, not to manipulate, but to maintain power, not over her, but over himself. That kind of control is what truly seduces, because it is rare, and what is rare is always attractive. Caring less does not mean you feel nothing. It means you prioritize your dignity above your emotions. It means you don't make her the center of your universe before she's earned that place. You don't collapse into her world. You invite her into yours. You don't chase what's fleeting. You attract what aligns. This mindset is not about arrogance. It's about self-respect. A woman senses when a man is centered, when his sense of identity is intact. She senses when his affection is a gift, not a cry for attention. And she responds to that difference in kind. The dynamic always shifts toward the emotionally disciplined. He who can detach with calm, who can remain still in the storm, who does not rush to fill the silence, is the one who controls the rhythm of the connection. Women are drawn to strength not because it is dominant, but because it is stable. And in a world full of emotional chaos, the man who is emotionally untouchable becomes the rarest kind of man, the one who cannot be swayed, only chosen. To care less is not to love less, to love wiser. It is to know the weight of your attention and not to place it where it is not treasured. It is to know the value of your time and not to spend it where it is not earned. It is to know your worth and never let attraction make you forget it. Because in the end, the one who cares less is not always the colder one. He is simply the one who refuses to surrender his power for the illusion of connection. And that refusal makes him unforgettable in a world of men who give themselves away far too easily. In the brutal world of attraction, it is not love, words, even beauty that governs who holds power. It is control, discipline, and presence. The man who never chases, who does not expose his hunger, who does not allow emotion to dictate strategy, is the man who commands attention without asking for it. He does not run after anyone because he has already built a life that others want to be part of. His silence speaks louder than desperation. His absence creates more desire than his presence ever could if it were handed over too easily. The truth is cold, but it is liberating. Value is not proven by how much you give. It is demonstrated by how much you can withhold. When you chase, you lower yourself. When you need, you weaken your position. When you reveal too much, you kill the mystery that desire feeds on. Attraction, in its rawest form, is about power. And the power belongs to the man who remains calm, distant, and sovereign. Never chase her. Not because you're playing games, because you understand yours is not a heart to be thrown at feet, hoping to be picked up. You are not a follower. You are the storm she must learn to navigate, the mountain she must choose to climb. You are not made to prove yourself to those who hesitate. You are made to stand so firmly in your self-worth that they either rise to meet you or fade trying. That is the brutal truth about attraction, and it will never reward the one who chases. Only the one who waits, watches, and walks away without a single word when respect is not returned.